Hello, Ariana from Coastal Roofing and Siding. This is Joel from JND SEO. We spoke briefly on the phone today, so I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can beat your competition online. And I don't want to waste your time, Ariana. I don't want to waste mine, so I'm going to make this as quick as possible. If at the end of the video you'd like to hear more information, let's set up a 10-minute phone call. If not, then I'm going to give you some free tips and strategies today, and you can actually go ahead and apply those right to your site, and it should definitely help. First thing I do want to talk about is content, and I'm on your homepage as you can see. And I just want to scroll through and kind of see how many words of content you have on your page. Let's see. It looks like you probably have a little bit under 200 words of content. I typically recommend having about 1,500, and part of that is because Google will count your content and they'll rank you higher for the more content that you do have. They really prefer over 1,000, and I always say 1,500 to kind of be safe. And if we're being honest, 99.9% of businesses don't have 1,500 words, and that's exactly why you will stand out from the other businesses and be able to beat them. Now, the other reason why you want so much content is that the more content you have, the more keywords you can put into that content. So as an example, I've just put in roofing, Outer Banks, North Carolina. If I just put in the small area that you guys are, you are like the only one that shows up. So because you are in a bit of an isolated spot, you guys don't have a ton of competition out there. And really, depending on how far you do go in, is probably when you would start to see some competition. And so that's what we'll kind of talk about here. So this is what a new customer would put in though if they were looking for services in the area. Normally you would see ads at the top of this search here, but I'm not seeing any, probably because again it's a smaller population area, so probably no companies are paying for those. And so we find this map section as the first thing we see, and this is really the top 3 companies would show up here in this little preview screen. And that's all based on citations. And citations are just when you get your business name, address, and phone number listed together into a directory site. And these are sites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Home Advisor, just to name a few. And if we kind of scroll down here, we will find the organic section. And there's 10 results that will show up per page in the organic section. And these don't show up randomly. They really do show up all in based on Google's little algorithm and formula. And we now know 2 parts that we've talked about to that are content and keywords, as well as citations do play a part as well. So, and if we were ranking these, you guys actually would be number 1. Coastal Roofing and Siding would be number 1 for roofing, Outer Banks, North Carolina, so we'd be number 1 there. And you guys, Outer Banks would be number 2, and Outer Banks Roofing Companies would be number 3. So those are actually 2 different companies. And next, I'd like to take your website, coastalroofing.net, and put it into a program I use called Ahrefs. And what we can see here is that you guys are taking advantage of using your headers, which is a good thing. And you have your location there as well as a few keywords. Having your business name up there will actually make it a little easier for Google to find you. And I want to go through the numbers just briefly here. So 25 referring domains. What this means is that they're basically just websites or domains that you guys have links on. So you guys have 25 of those. And those 25 websites that you have links on are sending you back 175 links to your page. So basically, those are what people click those, it sends them back to your page. You guys can be found right now for 64 keywords. And these are what really drive the traffic to your site. And the 64 keywords you guys have, we can see is actually bringing 63 visitors to your site per month. It's on a monthly basis. So what I'd like to do is just click your keywords and kind of see where your traffic's coming from. First thing we see is your name, Coastal Roofing. 500 people search it just like that. And you guys are in the 3rd position for that one. Because it's coastal roofing, I'm thinking probably because there's different coasts obviously in the US. It's probably a bit of a national term. However, it is part of your name, but it is a great way to bring in traffic. But you could get people from other coasts, obviously, that you can't help. But then Coastal Roofing and Siding, which is a little more specific, we get to 40. And you guys are number 1 for that one. Then we have North Carolina Roofing and Siding. 50 people do search that, and you guys are number 5 for that one. So remember that there's 10 results per page. So if you want to be on the first page, you really have to be in the top 10. And then next up, we have roofing and siding. Now, this is a bit of a vague term because it's just very open. And really, it's a national term. You can get people from all over the U.S. searching this. So that's why there's such huge volume on it with 1,300. You guys are 21, so you're really not getting too much of a benefit from it because you're on the third page there. And we found that 80 to 85% of people who do searches on Google will not go to page 2. So with 21, you're really not getting much off that. Basically, people who search you by name, though, that's your repeat customers referrals. They kind of know who you are. We also want to bring in new customers, and I'm kind of looking for some of those new customer terms. And I'm not seeing too much like North Carolina roofing would be one. The only thing is because that is again broad, and maybe you do service the whole state, but if you don't, then obviously, there's going to be some of that that's not going to be quite as useful. So I've taken Outer Banks Roofing and just plugged them into Ahrefs as well to give you a comparison. Again, their numbers really don't compare as far as traffic that we're seeing. 11 referring domains sending 136 links back, so that's actually pretty close. The 52 keywords are close. The difference is that they only have the one visitor to their site. So chances are it's because either their keywords are more national or their keywords, they're just ranking too far back to kind of take advantage of it. So we have IOS OBX 224 for that. So again, too far back. They have some specific siding that they do. However, they're 9 and 22 for that one. The 9 could get traffic, but I think because it's not a very popular one with 30. Corolla Roofing, 70 people do search that. The problem is they're 26. So again, middle of the third page. And we kind of go on from there. Let's see. So siding repair companies, that's not a bad one. Better if it's without a location on it. Let's see. And some of these aren't as useful as we'd kind of like to see. Okay, so Iowa's roofing services 3081. That's not a bad one. Assuming that is a location, and that would be good. It's just the problem is they're 81, so they're too far back. So that's really kind of your competition. But for you guys, definitely it looks like most of your traffic is actually coming from your own name, and you guys don't have too many terms that would bring in new customers. And those would be ones like roofing, Outer Banks, North Carolina. It could be roofing, Powell's Point, North Carolina. However, there's just not a ton of volume there. But you guys are doing good for your area. It's just that we could definitely improve a little bit by adding and make your site a little stronger. But thank you for your time. Do appreciate it. If you guys want to hear more, we could set up a 10-minute phone call. If not, take the tips I did give you and definitely go ahead and apply them. I will call and just ask you guys for a little feedback on my video. But thank you guys for your time and have a good day.